Stories stir the soul.
Stories reveal.
And stories heal.
In this podcast, we will give you an inside look at someone who's had a life-changing breakthrough.
Real people, real stories with real breakthroughs. As a health and wellness expert and coach, and Todd as a men's mentor,
we've seen firsthand what God can do when it comes to a breakthrough. So lean in, listen well. This could be your biggest breakthrough.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Your Biggest Breakthrough. I'm Wendie Pett.
I'm Todd Isberner.
Yes.
Yes, thank you
Yeah,
for
thank you.
acknowledging
No,
that.
thank you.
I am. Yes, I am. Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Aren't the fall colors incredible? How's that for a quick transition?
Well, yes, they are.
It's
Todd.
because we live in Minnesota and we get the incredible advantage of seeing the change of seasons. And we're right smack dab in the center of this change of season where the leaves and the trees are looking phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. It's my favorite time of year. They're just so vibrant with the reds, oranges, yellows. And you know, you're a little colorblind. So
I know. So then I always have to ask Wendie, she goes, do you see that bright red right there? I
said, what, that brown? And I'm like, it's
brown?
red.
Yeah. Nevertheless, I can appreciate what I can see,
Yeah,
and I do
good.
see some changes taking place, and that got us into a discussion as we were taking a beautiful walk.
Yeah.
And hearing the crisp leaves under our feet and looking at the brilliant colors in the trees. And we got thinking about how cool it is that the season changes.
Yeah.
Because it's leading somewhere.
Yeah. It's leading to winter.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then it leads to that next season.
Breakthrough.
That breakthrough spring season. That's right. So that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about change and having breakthrough and change.
Well, let's face it, change in our lives is inevitable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's imposed on us. In fact, maybe far too often we feel it's imposed on us. And there are other times where there's an opportunity that jumps up in front of us. We have to make this decision, this choice. Do I change or don't I change? And what will the outcome be? So Wendie and I just want to get in a little discussion today about how we might want to start embracing changes because they can usher in the breakthroughs that you've been looking for.
Right. And I believe that when we do decide, because it is a decision a lot of the times, that we will just flow with that change as opposed to butting heads with the change. Then things go so much more smoothly, and then we get that breakthrough so much quicker.
So you're recommending that when the change comes, we go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Yeah. That's hard to do, though.
So let's talk about, it is hard to do, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Let's talk first about the kind of change that we don't like. And I'm talking about the changes that are imposed on us. It's like, hey, wait a second, something's not the same anymore,
right.
And I didn't ask for this. And before you know it, you've been surprised by something that you didn't expect and you don't like and you didn't seem to have any control over.
Yeah, like maybe an illness or a death in the family or a friend or even a financial crisis.
Yeah, it comes up on you and you weren't looking for a change. From your perspective, it's like, there's no point in making a change. Things are fine in this area. And again, like we said, it might be in health or relationships, or I'm thinking about, we're still on the backside. Well, I don't know what side we're on of COVID, but that has been something that has created incredible change.
Interesting changes.
I mean, right? Sure. Unexpected, unwanted, imposed upon us changes.
Yeah, it was kind of blindsiding, right? For a lot of all of us.
And then we had to make these. Well, we couldn't even make a decision. The decision was made for you. You will wear a mask going into the store. Well, you'll wear a mask on the airplane. I mean, we don't get in that whole thing, but just the point is, when COVID came along, it imposed changes on us. Some folks lost jobs over the whole deal. And there's another thing on the horizon that's coming.
What, the vaccination stuff?
Well, there's that too. We don't even want to get near that discussion, but
it's a whole nother show.
What about taxes? I mean, this is kind of crazy, but for any of us who pay taxes, and I'm assuming that's about all of us who listen, there are some tax proposals right now that are going to be imposed upon you, like it or not, and it's going to change the way you manage your money because you're going to owe more. Yeah. So I'm just saying these are examples. We don't like some of these changes. We absolutely hate, and we'll do anything to resist them. But the truth is, you just don't have a downside. You just don't have a choice in it. So there are some downsides
Well,
when these changes occur.
On some of those things, we do have a choice in the sense of we can speak up, we can make our voices heard when it makes sense. But when there's, you have emotions around so much of change, right? Like whether it's fear, there's a lot of fear, there's worry, there's just that, maybe it's anger and resentment.
There you go.
There's just those emotions around change, and that's hard.
Certainly insecurity that when we dive into the unfamiliar, especially when we've been doing things in a very familiar way,
we want things we want certainty.
We do. And it knocks us backwards. That's sort of the downside on these imposed upon us changes, but there can be an upside when even with changes that you don't want and you didn't ask for come into your life, there can be an upside if you will make a decision to look for some kind of a breakthrough in this, some sort of positive outcome from a change you didn't want and you didn't like.
So you're saying basically choose to either be bitter or better.
Yeah, I think that's a simple way of putting it. It's true.
Because if you don't have a choice, if it's something you truly don't have a choice with, like a death in the family or a friend and something like that, that's devastating. And so what do you do when that happens? Of course, you go through the grieving process and all of that, but how do you go through the other side of it, break through to seeing that God is sovereign, right? And
I'll give you an example, because there can be an upside, but you have to work on it. You've got to shift perspectives on it. Sometimes it drives you to find solutions that you didn't know existed, or it gives you opportunities to learn lessons that you don't want to learn, but the outcome of learning those lessons can benefit not only you, but many others as well.
Or it may give you the opportunity to shut your mouth and just listen. Maybe I'm talking to myself. Not you. Shut your mouth.
I'm so glad you didn't look at me when you said that. Like, shut your mouth and listen.
No, I think I'm thinking of myself here because I'm quick to speak, and I that's one of my downside.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it gives you an opportunity to have a different perspective and just be slow to speak and be more thoughtful.
The Bible says that.
I know.
James, slow to speak, quick to listen.
Yes. Working on that one.
Yeah. So both of us have had numerous imposed upon us changes in life. So I want you to give an example of one that is kind of top of mind, and then I'll give one.
I don't have one that's current top of mind. I always go right back to my snowmobile accident because that was an imposed upon situation that, it changed my world for quite some time. And
you changed your lifestyle for a little while because you're injured, right?
I was injured. I couldn't. Keegan was just a baby. I say a baby, but a little bitty toddler, and I couldn't pick him up, and I couldn't do my hair. I couldn't even put on deodorant. I couldn't shower the same way. It just changes everything. I had to learn to become ambidextrous with certain things, and that.
So
was
now
awkward.
you're talking about the upside.
Well, okay.
Seriously,
was that an upside?
Well, sure.
Well, you didn't see me eat with my left hand.
I would think it's an advantage being ambidextrous.
That's true.
You're at the plate ready to swing the bat and you change positions. That can confuse everybody.
It takes a lot of practice.
Yes, it does.
To get those peas on the fork with your left hand.
But so the downside was it was some lifestyle changes, some adjustments, lots of inconveniences, if you will.
Yeah.
But you also had an opportunity to change your perspective on things.
I did, because with that, the breakthrough through all of that led to Visibly Fit, right? And everything that I'm teaching today.
Don't underestimate that. That's crazy.
That's huge.
Good.
So the bitter or better part, I chose better.
Well, let me explain a little bit just on that Visibly Fit thing. Because what you did is you adapted a whole new concept of exercises.
That I was already doing, but I put that into play so that my injury would be healed naturally.
So you literally avoided surgery.
Yeah.
Because you made the choice to take a course of action.
That's right.
That could lead to a better outcome.
And it wasn't the quick fix course of action.
Right.
It was painful. Yeah. It took a lot of discipline. It just was a different course of action than maybe what most people would choose or what I have chose in the past.
But look at the benefits now.
Oh, so grateful.
Right?
So grateful.
The outcome of that. So there can be positive things that happen. You just don't know it until you're able to look over your shoulder and gain some hindsight. Right.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. Well, I was just, So there's lots of imposed upon us changes. And I think a lot of you can relate to this. When there's a death of a loved one, it's oftentimes something that can be unexpected. And in my case, just recently, I lost a loved one. He was like a son to me. He lived in the Philippines, and I had the awesome privilege many years ago to sponsor him and to help financially and prayerfully. And my daughter Stephanie and I both would write letters back and forth all the time for years. He turned 18 and he graduated out of the program, lost touch until an email popped up about 20 years ago, and it's from Elmer, my son in the Philippines. And that's what he called me dad. I called him son. And I mean, I was blown away.
And what did the email say?
I said, I'm reading through my emails. I get this email from somebody I don't know. And it says, Todd, my father, I have found you. I'm Elmer, your son from the Philippines. And I'm thinking,
imagine?
What in the world? Yeah, that rocked my world. But it was awesome. We started a relationship up again, and I had a chance to travel over there and meet him, hug him, love on him, his wife, beautiful wife, incredible sons. He became an internationally renowned, award-winning fashion and wedding photographer whose work is literally artistic and has set the pace for many other photographers.
Yes.
And I just got news just very recently that he just passed. He suddenly passed away.
Young, only 50.
50 years old, and kidney complications that led to cardiac arrest. And within 24 hours, he was gone. And so I've been messaging, his wife and his two sons, and just all of us grieving over this unexpected loss, which was, again, it's a change that rocks your world. And it was imposed upon this little family and everybody who knew him. Nobody asked for that, obviously. This is just what happened. So the downside, obviously, is there's a lot of sorrow. There's a lot of sadness. There's all of the things that go with losing somebody you love, and knowing that's he's irreplaceable, and that loss will last forever. Then you got to push yourself to look for the upside. And for me and for his wife and his sons and so many friends, we're already starting to see and celebrate the impact of this young man's life.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He loved God. He's taught Bible studies. He prayed with his family every day. Everywhere he went, he had this incredible positive attitude. He always gave God the credit for anything good that turned out in his life. Every piece of art he created, he gave God the honor and the glory. And I'm thinking now about the positive impact that he's had, how he just inspires me to this moment. He will to the day I die, because of who he was as a man, a godly man, and how he addressed life in every situation. So it drives us to think more about what we had at the time we had it. And it drives me, even as I wake up every morning now, recently, I've been thinking, are you living your life to the fullest? Life is short. You cannot predict when your end date occurs. And I'm talking to all of us right now. Are we living the life that God has called us to live and embracing it every single day, regardless of what the changes bring? Will we stay focused and stay full of life and love for him and for others?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting into a sermon right
now.
No,
I know,
you know what
but
I'm saying?
It is one of those things that we've been talking about is, are we doing everything that we could be doing on this day?
Yeah.
And
live it in the present moment.
Right. Living in the present moment, and not taking one another for granted or our life for granted. Yeah. And so
even in these imposed,
that can be a positive thing.
It can be. I was going to say, like, even in these things that at first seem really bad, really negative, changes that we didn't want, and they are imposed upon us, we can get through it, and we can find something on the other side that can bring about some good, even a breakthrough for us.
Yes.
There's another kind of change, and I'm going to flip the coin over, because these are the ones that are imposed upon us.
Yeah.
Then there are changes that occur because they're opportunities that rise up in front of us, and we suddenly recognize, wow, here's an opportunity, but it's going to require some change.
Which means work.
Oh,
right?
Man. You think about
opportunistic change.
Let's think about some examples of that. So there could be some opportunities for you to get better health and more fit.
Right. So
but it's going to take some change.
It's going to take some change. You can't have Cheerios at night, or you can't have ice cream at night. You got to change your ways.
There are some opportunities that loom up in front of you for becoming better at managing your finances.
Yes.
To make more money, to give more money, to save more money. But it requires change.
Yes.
And
change in your spending habits, change in the way you go about doing your shopping, or, just the thought process. Like, do I really need that?
Your whole perspective, even your whole relationship with money.
Right, right.
There are opportunities that come up in front of you to make some changes in a relationship.
Yes.
That could be awesome if you can break through to the other side. You see the opportunity, but you're thinking, man, I'm going to have to make some changes to make this deal happen.
I don't want to have to say, yes, dear, when I feel like saying something else.
Wait a minute. What are you getting into?
Oh, nothing. What?
You got a recent example of that?
Hey,
or what? What are you talking about?
You know what? You did talk about an example the other day.
Yeah.
When we were in the getting ready in the morning, and you said that I was.
Oh, there was an opportunity for me to make a change, to make the relationship better. Because Wendy's putting her makeup on, and I'm shaving, and she's talking away. I mean, she's like in a gabby. She doesn't drink coffee, but she's mouth is just moving a mile a minute, just gabbing away. And the things that she was gabbing about were important to her, completely irrelevant for me. And so I did what the guy thing is, and that is
tuned me out.
I'm just shaving. I wasn't hearing a word of it. My brain was already focused on ramming and jamming for the stuff I had to do that day. And here I just hear this in the background.
Oh, really? Like I sound like a Charlie Brown teacher, whatever.
But then, man, I did hear something. I actually heard, and it was the Lord, and he said,
good, you were convicted.
Todd, listen to her. That's exactly what I said. Listen to her. And man, I stopped mid-stroke in a shave, and I thought, yeah, you better give her your attention. So I said, I literally started to listen, pay attention, and tried to act interested.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
We were talking about conversations you had on the phone and stuff that's going on with work, but I did. I started to listen and started to appreciate the importance of those things for you.
So you're a good husband.
Yeah, thank you. But it required change. It was momentarily a little.
But that was a breakthrough.
A little breakthrough.
That was a change.
A little breakthrough. Yeah.
But those little ones, I don't want to dismiss that, because those little ones can lead to massive, big change overall in a relationship.
So
right?
true.
Yeah.
So I think the reality is that sometimes we view this opportunity that requires change. We first focus on the downside of that. Well, that means I'm going to really have to do a reality check on where things are at. And it means I'm going to probably have to learn some new things. And that's not fun. And then that means I'm going to have to exercise some discipline to put into these new things that I'm learning. And then
it's never fun in the beginning.
No,
and the discipline's good.
Here's the reality. The downside of making those important changes, it's hard. It's not easy. Does change ever come easy for anybody?
Rarely.
I mean, where there's some kind of good outcome on the other side, right?
Right.
I mean, if it's a real change, it's going to take something.
Right. And I think that's why there's so many challenges right now, for doing hard things.
Yeah.
Because that's how you change. And you have to do the hard thing. And it doesn't feel comfortable in the beginning. It just doesn't.
No, but if we stay focused on what the upside will be, the outcome is going to be a breakthrough into something new in a relationship, something new in your financial management.
Yeah, something new in
something
your health.
new in your health.
Yep.
There's all kinds of areas that might be going through your mind right now. Of, you can, could, and should make the change. Right. And the only thing holding you back is the stuff that's in between your ears that says, it's going to be too hard.
Is that how?
That's how your head is talking to you. And I know, but it's going to be so hard. Forget that. Just focus on the outcome.
Do
of
it
the breakthrough.
anyway.
Come on.
Do it.
All right. Give me an example of something you had to face where here's an opportunity for me, but man, these changes are going to take something out of me.
Well, I think I just go to my business, because even from the beginning to where I am now, I think there's been constant change. I remember the archaic way of doing things. Like I literally.
You mean like mailing DVDs?
Well, yeah, that's part of it.
Somebody said to you the other day.
Want DVDs actually.
Why? Somebody said you to the other day.
We don't even have I still
DVDs
have them
anymore.
for sale on my website. Stop it.
Well, your DVD. On your DVD videos on exercise.
But who has DVD players anymore? But no, the thing is I remember my clients would fax me their information. I sent them a form, they faxed it back. I had a whole big, manila folder of all their information. It was just very archaic. And then I switched, and then it became a little more digital. And now I'm in the process of really making it
Oh, you're doing
digital,
a major,
evergreen. It's a major
You're doing
haul.
a major revamp right now.
Major revamp, which is exciting but painful.
Yeah.
Painful because I've been in the groove. I know what I've been doing this for so long, and now it's like changing again.
So you're having to learn new things.
I am.
You have to exercise the discipline to stick with what you're learning,
right?
And then to begin to implement.
And it's hard.
It's hard. But
the outcome.
because I mean, I hear you talk about it. We discuss it, and
and you're sick of hearing it.
No, yeah. See, this is the other deal. When it comes to change, we expect, because we live in such an instant society, that all I got to do is bam, make a little thing happen in a very short period of time, or make a big thing happen in a short period of time. I snap my fingers, boom, it happens. That's just not the way change occurs.
Well, it depends on what kind of change it is. It could. It could be.
Yeah, but in your case, this is not like,
this has been,
you can't wake up tomorrow morning and say, okay, all the changes
months
are now
and months
in
of
place.
work.
Exactly. So I think that's the other part of it. Realistically assessing what it's going to take to make the change.
Especially when one of my top 5 strengths is I'm an activator.
Yeah.
I like to get it started.
You do. Yeah.
I don't like to necessarily.
Where are you at on the implementer chart?
I don't think I'm in there at all.
I think that's part of
so I have people around me that support me and keep me accountable and help me implement, which is great. But the outcome of that is good, because I'll be able to reach more people. It'll be more in depth, and they will be able to learn more and retain more this way. And it'll be so much better in the end. So it's ready to go, and but it's just been painful through the process.
But again, you're focused on the impact,
absolutely.
The explosion of growth that could occur, and also the deep impact that occurred in people's lives, and the efficiency of how that can occur.
Exactly.
Instead of you still trying to find somebody's
fax your
number.
form, please. What about for you?
So I've got opportunities that come up, I think, on a pretty regular basis. And one is the opportunity to shift some things around in my health and my wellness and my fitness. There are still things I need to change when it comes to what I eat and how I eat it. I mean, I've gotten a lot better thanks to Wendie's help. But there are still things that I know I'm going to have to change to be like 100% all in on really good eating, good health as a result of that.
Do we want to go into the specifics of that?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's plant-based, and I pull in some other things along with the plant-based diet. that they're just hard to change. But I know the outcome is going to be good. But when it comes to fitness, for the last 20, 30 years here, I've really enjoyed fitness, and especially the weightlifting side of it. Though I'm not, a big muscle head bulk, but I like to feel strong, and I like to work out with weights. And so as you get older, you'll find you can't lift as much weight as you used to lift.
So you should just do Visibly Fit. Just saying.
Yeah. So Visibly Fit doesn't involve any weights at all, because your body's your gym, and you imagine that you have weights.
You know it. You used to do it.
There's something about hearing the clanking of iron and dropping weights on the floor and that whole deal. It really feels good.
I actually can hear you, by the way, through the vents in the house.
Yeah. What do you hear?
Just the grunting.
You better believe it. That means I'm working hard. And I will always continue to lift weights. But like I mentioned, I can't lift the same amount of weight anymore because it's just too hard on my joints.
Hello.
Tendons and ligaments.
That
right?
Sounds
right,
familiar.
Wendy?
Yeah.
So I'm making some. So there's an opportunity for me to make some changes and still be able to stay strong and and
do what you want to
maintain and build muscle. And so I've kind of gone to an extreme on that. I do a lot of biohacking, if you will. I'm following some of these crazies, and I'm doing all of the sort of the new things. I've done Visibly Fit. I do Visibly Fit, but I do Visibly Fit.
You're in the DVDs.
Oh, don't even mention that. Oh my goodness.
They are so outdated, but they're hilarious.
Wow. Glad we don't have a DVD player anymore, so I can't watch them. But I have like an Iron Man suit.
I think it's more like Mission Impossible.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
What's that song? How do you do?
So it's called a Catalyst, and what it is, it's electric muscle stimulation. I don't want to get into all the details on this, but I'm just trying to make the point that I'm shifting some things around so that I can.
You don't have to work so hard.
Yeah, so that I can. Well, that I can avoid injury from lifting heavy weights. I'll still lift weights, but this Catalyst suit I puts on, it's got these pads built on the inside of it that are hooked up to a little device that sends electronic impulses into your muscles. It's literally while you're working out, you're being electrocuted.
It's changing it's changing your central nervous system and all of that, and how
it's all hitting all
wired.
the small twitch fibers,
Mm-hmm.
your muscles and all that good stuff. So it's different, and I like it, and it's a change because the opportunity is to continue to work out, even though you have to do something that you've never done before,
right?
And it becomes uncomfortable, and then it becomes not necessarily comfortable, but it becomes rewarding.
Yeah, rewarding.
Because the outcome is, yes, I am growing and achieving and breaking through.
Yeah, and maybe pretty soon we'll see you running really fast like Tom Cruise in all those movies.
With my suit on.
With your suit
while
on.
I'm being electrocuted and jolted with all these electronic muscle stimulations. Yeah.
Oh, it's a sight to see. It's great. But change, that's opportunistic change can really be good, but we have to see it as the opportunity that it is and break through to becoming better and not bitter and just doing it.
So what's the change that might be facing you right now? What's the opportunity that's in front of you today
that you're avoiding?
But it's going to require some change. And maybe that's why you haven't raced into it. So Wendie and I just want to encourage you, dive in head first, go directly into it, and believe that the outcome of making those changes will be a breakthrough that will impact your life in a better way and those around you.
Those around you, for sure. For sure. Well, Jack Canfield, can I share this quote?
Oh, you have a quote
I have
for
a
us.
quote.
Okay.
Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul guy.
Yeah.
He says, change is inevitable in life. You can either resist it and potentially get run over by it.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can choose to cooperate with it, adapt to it, and learn how to benefit from it. When you embrace change, you will begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. And that is just it. Embracing change. Then we can see it as an opportunity for growth.
Throw your arms open wide when that opportunity arises.
Come on, change.
And say, come on, give me a big hug. I'm going to change and have a breakthrough. Here's just one other bit of good news. That's a great quote from Jack Canfield. You can send me that one.
Okay.
But here's something else that just occurred to me. And this is where I really, really put my hope. And that is in the truth and the reality that God promised. He never changes.
Never changes.
And that is a really good thing, because every one of us needs something very constant in our lives. And here's a constancy that you can depend on. That is, God says he never changes. What does that mean? He never changes in his character and in the way in which he wants to relate to you and with you. His love is always there. It's always reliable. He's always dependable. His sovereignty, his ability to control everything in your life, to create things that you can't create, to adjust things to where they need to be. His sovereignty never changes. His love for you never changes. So I take hope in that. And that's something that we don't want to change.
That's right. I do too. And within your changes and those breakthroughs, it can draw you really closer to the one that doesn't change.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that's beautiful. I love that.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for that little preacher moment. I love that. Yeah.
So we're so happy that you tuned in today and hope that you can embrace your changes as they occur. Whether they're changes imposed on you or opportunities that have arisen that require you to make some changes.
Yeah. So thanks so much for tuning in. We always love spending this time with you, and we would like to impose something upon you.
Yes. We can't really force it.
No, we can't. But we would like to encourage you to write give us a 5-star rating and write a review. Well, you have to, first of all, it's different. You don't subscribe anymore to the podcast. You follow. Yeah. Things always change, right?
You're either going to have a like or follow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I think it's like or follow or subscribe. I think it's follow now. And then you go, I think on your cell phone is the easiest way to do it, but you can also go to Podchaser and write a review. But if you want to do it on iTunes, that's fantastic too. But we got a new review and I wanted to read it. Yeah. And hopefully it'll inspire you to write a review too, please. Because it helps people find.
Is this a good review, by the way? I mean, it's 5-star.
No, it's terrible.
Okay.
No, it's 5-star.
Reality check.
Yeah. It says, gosh, I can't even see what the title is, but it says, your biggest breakthrough with Todd and Wendie is so well done. These two are consummate professionals who deliver extraordinary content in such an engaging, memorable, and effervescent way.
Oh, I wish I had a horn right now. Honk, honk. Feel like we're honking our own horn.
Effervescent. I love it. Okay. So grateful. They are investing their veteran talents in bringing exceptional programs to the rapidly expanding podcast world. Look for Todd and Wendie's channel to be listed in the top 50 very soon.
Come on. All right. Thank you.
He's already saying it. Hey, thank you, Michael. We so appreciate this incredible review. So we just wanted to share that with you, hopefully inspire you to maybe, change your ways if you haven't been writing reviews, and write us a review.
That'd be awesome.
So anyway, appreciate you so much. Embrace the change, and we'll catch you next time on Your Biggest Breakthrough.
See ya.